welcome to day 455. The journey begins. Oh, thank you. We're going to do some tool mending and then work on our path to Inkwood from Overmorrow, where we are right now. Our streamer in the other ear is Batsman UK on Twitch. And we have our TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube chats up. Looks like everything is going okay. So we're going to spend 5 or 10 minutes here just mending some of the tools so we can get some of the terraforming pathing done from Inkwood to here. I'm debating on doing like an underground kind of merchant tunnel for Inkwood once we hit the water, or whether we should build a bridge. I think a bridge would be a fairly common approach. Terraforming and just filling in kind of the surface of some of the ocean and making it look more like lakes on each side of a land to build a road would also be an option. But one thing I don't see a lot of is tunnels for long distance travel. There's mountain passes and tunnels for trains and stuff that I see people build, but not so much for the purposes of caravans. If anyone has seen it, feel free to share in chat. So I'm kind of leaning towards that way, doing something that's a little different. And yeah, as always, if the audio or anything sounds a little off, let me know in chat. I try to monitor it, but I don't always catch some of the hisses and pops. Occasionally I do need to unplug and replug the mic to, I guess, reset the cache or whatever is going on with it. And feel free to ask anything about the story here, the Minecraft world, or streaming setup. I think most of it's probably in our Twitch About page. But we have a dual PC setup. Our next step there is to upgrade the stream side of it. Gaming side is good. With a more static desktop, and then eventually do the same with the gaming side so we can have a more static spot to do that, and we can use the laptop more for make better use of its mobility for other things. But for now, we're running 2 laptops. Our mic is a Shure SM7B XLR running through a Scarlett Solo. We're using the Cyborg for our controller, along with the M570 trackball mouse. We're actually using 2 of the trackball mice, 1 for each of the laptops. Just find it a little easier to get around. You could probably get away with 1, or if you like using the trackpad or standard mouse, you could do that as well. But that's our setup. Eventually, I want to try some other input devices, so like a Leap Motion, the Logitech buttons, pedals. What is that? I think a Logitech pad. Logitech or Razer, one of them has like a old school like Nintendo pad that we could adapt for this. I think that would be interesting. I think once we make affiliate, we'll spring for one of those, and then as we as we can fiscally responsibly add the others, we'll do that. All right. So, yeah, I probably need to get the zombie piglin farm going. Granted, it is in the nether, but spending a minute or two to get there and then having the tools mended in a few seconds will be nicer than having to spend a long time here. And we're gonna need mostly the oh, I guess we could take these with them. Well, I wouldn't say mostly. We'll need a combination of the pickaxe and shovel because there is the majority of the trip probably is on the surface. It's probably I'm gonna guess like in the range of like 400 to 500 blocks under the ocean, maybe even less. What do we got here? Okay. Okay. So yeah, not a lot going on here. I guess while we're waiting for them to spawn up a little bit. We can look here. So this is going to be kind of smuggler's tunnel, this kind of thing. So again, trying to kind of be unconventional. I think that's probably a good word. But to be like bright, structured, something where it's more gentlemen smugglers. So it'll be nice architecture, well lit. And it'll be in a way to kind of get from the different farms in Overmorrow above us down here. And if we keep the tunnels kind of a larger size, we can fly pretty easy. And we don't have to worry about like landing near the buildings or crashing into buildings. Still the walls, but I think that helps down here. Because you don't have to dodge between the buildings that are more decorative. This will only go to the farm. So down here, we're going to the cleric's hall where we can trade in our rotten flesh for emeralds. This goes to our string factory, or our string farm. Some cave spider spawner there. Right? Yeah. So this goes to that. And from the cave spider spawner, we can go to the bamboo farm. So that's how that's going to work. And then as we add others, we can do that too. At least the ones where we put the material gathering underground. So we might have like a leathersmith or armor, whatever we want to call it, shop on the surface. But then directly below it would be, a cow farm or something so that we could have the materials fed into it so it makes it usable. We could still add to the story that they're gathering their materials from farms from the 10 realms, but functionally the materials would come from below the shop. And some of them, maybe we could work it into the story, and others will just leave it as a functional piece. Because being Spawn, we want people to be able to, if you download the world, to be able to gather materials easily and then just go off and build, adventure, whatever you choose to do in the easiest way possible. So if you want to go out and just punch trees, you could do that, or you can grab a diamond pickaxe and then go do your own thing, however suits you. And we, on that note, every 6 months we take a backup of this world and add it to our GitLab repo, so you can track the progress there. If anyone's done that or has trouble doing that, let me know. We're checking our own chats and then periodically checking out chats menu K chat. Who was just mentioning the Spawn Chunks, which is a podcast by Pixel Riffs and Joel Duggan, which I recommend the podcast and their various channels, Twitch and YouTube. Joel Duggan also does the Little Cafe podcast, which is if you like the kind of discussions on movies, I recommend that. Joel streams on the Citadel Cafe. Or Joel streams on the Citadel. His podcast is the Citadel Cafe. So you can find Joel Duggan on Twitch. And Twitch, Pixel Riffs has a YouTube channel and their own Twitch channel. They stream on various servers. Although, if you're listening to this, you've probably already heard of both of those, but I highly recommend both if you haven't. So we're going to give a second. To spawn up a few more. I don't know if we'll let it go all the way because we do want to do some building on stream. But since we are streaming more, I think we'll incorporate some of this on. Okay. So let's see what we got. We're going to need a fair amount of tunneling too. So maybe we'll do some of that off stream. Let's just see where we are. Okay. Oop, we already went through that one. Grab. There's slabs there. Okay. Okay, so I think we're okay there then. Oh, we were just showing that off, so maybe we'll go down here. I'm gonna walk this, drop off our rat flesh, and then head out. Saving some of our fireworks because we don't want to overdo that. We have a sugarcane farm in the works. We have some gunpowders. It would just take some time. So we have a little bit of a stockpile, but with the amount of building we've been doing here, we've been going through a lot of it, so we don't want to deplete that too much. So we need to replace this with stairs at some point to make this a little easier. And also this doesn't really fit the style that we're going for. The nice big tunnel and then there's the 1 block wide. This was just an easy way out. And also our cleric here is going to live in the cleric hall at some point. They're just out here for ease at the moment. Okay. Will you buy from me? Yes, okay. Drop that off. We can take that with us. Okay. What about the dirt? I think we'll probably have to drop off the dirt as well. I think we have a dirt box over here somewhere. Yeah, so we'll top up our carrots before we head out. $56. Okay, maybe one more. 2 more. Okay. Perfect. Where is it? It's over here somewhere. Oh, what is this? This is going to be our dripstone. Yes, we're going to make dripstone here. So I think we'll do some of the bigger farms maybe towards Barter's Bay, because that'll be just outside the Garden Temple. And that way we can have big farms next to the big build, and that can serve as kind of a central place to find stuff. But then each of the little villages like Inkwood and here will have some basic things, so call it oh, we got distracted. So we probably this like food, bamboo, because bamboo is a wood source, so it'd be an easy thing to build pistons and whatnot, so things like that. I don't know if we'll do, got like a lava one, might be easy because then you can have a fuel source and something for like a stone generator. Hey, Harry Yannon show. Welcome in. How's your Monday off? Or Monday starting off? And do you have any Minecraft projects yourself? That. I condense that. Because then we can always make stuff later. Yeah, I think that'd be fine. But now we need to go find wherever we put some stone so we can actually start setting down some of the path. Alright, so maybe over here we'll find some stone. Yes. So let's go. We don't have quite enough anywhere close to where we want to go. move over here, see if we have any stone on this side. Okay, so we don't have anything there. Ah, so there's some stone. Guess whatever we don't have here, we'll just start working on it. Why is it taking so long to open? I think there might be a touch of lag. I didn't click sand. Okay. Alright, so let's go here. Got this chest. Yeah, nothing here. So what's going on? Doing some I mean the FPS on the streaming is going down a little bit, but I don't see a lot of performance issue on. Okay. Whatever this lag is, I can't fly at the moment. But the flag is, or the lag on streaming PC is only, you know, dropping to 55 or something FPS from 60, so not a huge. There we go. Oh. Okay, this could be really bad because I could die and not know where I died. Because this still hasn't gone down. We used a rocket. I'm a little reluctant to do a whole lot because I don't want to die on the way to Inkwood. Particularly if we're like flying there and building back. And if we build there, I don't want to get jumped by creepers and zombies and not realize it. Yeah, see, our rocket count isn't going down. Yeah, this isn't particularly good. I don't want to get too far away because it's already going to be hard to figure out where we are if it tracks the coordinates but just isn't updating where we are. Not coordinates, but the distance. So if it's saying we moved 30 blocks away from wherever it thinks our last location was, and that isn't here, then we would be in an unknown space out there somewhere. So let's try. It's like trying to open the inventory just doesn't work. Opening the game menu works fine. But opening the menu isn't working. See? Okay, yeah, something's off. Because that counted down, but then they didn't despawn there, so how long is this going to last? Let's just go hang out by the bed and see if that actually works. We're not getting any indication, like it's still too bright to sleep, but we should be getting a, spawn point is, reset to this bed kind of thing. Why is it keeping me in the world but not disconnecting me yet? This is getting a little disconnected. 1, 2. Okay. I mean, some of the chests earlier were opening. It was just taking 2 or 3 clicks, but now these aren't opening at all. So what is going on? So it's I can't interact with anything. I think we're gonna do a be right back, and we're gonna log out of Minecraft and log back in, and hopefully that addresses it. Well, that was interesting. None of what we just did was saved. Like none of the dirt, none of the cobblestone we grabbed. We basically, the last 20 minutes or so are just gone. So we're not going to bother there. We're just going to go up here and drop it off somewhere because... And our mending is not where it was. Wow. Good thing we didn't get a lot done there. Let's see if this works. Okay, so at least it's counting down on the resources now. So we'll drop this off over here, and then we'll start laying down some of the cobblestone, and hopefully this sticks. On the plus side, at least we didn't die. Wait, where'd the stone that we grabbed? Why don't we have any of the cobblestone? Minecraft is having a day today. Wow, okay, so that's very little. Oh, and our headphones are the Sony MX5, which I do not recommend. Sony, if you're listening, your MX3s were fantastic. When you decided to put a bar that feels like a razor on your head instead of a cushion padding, I don't think that was a good idea. So if you can get the Sony MX3s, I think those are fantastic. I got those, yeah, about when they came out. One of the sides cracked a little bit, so it had to take a little fixing, but that only happened recently, the last 2-3 months. So I've had them for years. They worked really well. If I had to design Sony's headphones, I would take the cushion of the X3. They're the active noise canceling ones, so I might have had one of the letters wrong, but it's something X3 or 3000 basically, but call them X3s. I would take the cushion from that, and where the earpods kind of connect to the handle, I would make that sturdier, some kind of iodized like black stainless steel, or do something like that if you want to give it a style, but also keeping the quality there. Potentially you could have the flat aspect of the X3s kind of taper into a round arm like the X5 has, but doing it on the side and not on the top of the head. Because the only reason I can use the X5s is I bought an aftermarket cushion. Otherwise, the bar would just press too much into my head. And really, that's the only complaint I have, is that piece of it, because the quality is great. Oh, so that's not what we're here. Like the audio quality is great of the X5, and they're holding up together well. So, because I also got the X5 when they came out, I skipped the X4. I think the X4 has a similar problem. I think I think that's when they went to like the bar design. It takes a little while, but I can definitely feel it when I wear the X5s, but the X3s, it takes a lot longer for me to tell that I'm wearing them like from fatigue. All right, so there's our somewhere over here is that. So let's do okay, so 3 here, right? So we're gonna put this here, and this is gonna go back that way. But let's see. It's gonna take a while, but needs to be done. Also, I think this is relatively safe. And we don't want to do too much flying, given that we lost 20 minutes of playtime. One of our guests decided to join us. Another option that we could throw in on a affiliate stream is voting which cam to use, so we could toying with the idea of like the hand cam, like a show and tell cam, cat cam. Okay. So gonna probably end up cutting through here. So we were gonna going around earlier, but we're gonna cut through here, I think. Right, so we light this up, and this also gives us a nice little path like we saw yesterday coming back. So once we get close, we can follow the light in. And so we use the coordinates a lot, but we also want to find other ways to navigate. So like in Haven's End, we have block colors running along the cardinal directions. In Overmorrow, we have the white riverbed going east and the black riverbed going west. So coloring things like that so that we can just use the coordinates more for the building side, like how wide is this building, and more precise like connecting bridges together and whatnot, making sure we're on the same axis. But as far as navigating, we can focus more on in-world navigation. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, so you get close enough. All right, so let's go here. And well, it doesn't have to stay flat the whole time either, so like having it hill up a little bit, it's fine. It doesn't have to be a perfectly flat path throughout the whole world. We don't want it to be too rough, so we might have to like smooth some of this out. Like this hill like coming up for 2 or 3 is too much, so we probably just have it come up a little bit here. And then once we get to the other side, then we can have it start tapering down again. So have a little dynamic to it where we're 67 y67 is the kind of default that we go back to. So we deviate up and down from that, but we get back to that. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, so we'll come here. Yeah, so we can go here. Yeah. I wish that in a bit like a basic zombie didn't look like it had any enchanting. That a shield should prevent that from prevent that knockback. All right, so we're going. Come. Yeah. All right. That down. How much? That's another. I don't know if that's a bug, but I consider it one. Is you're crouching and you go into inventory. It removes you from crouching, which is fine, except it doesn't put you back when you close the inventory. So hopefully that gets addressed at some point. Well, addressed in that I would like to see the state maintained. Right, so let's go through here. Getting close. Close to the water, I think. I think maybe that will be our goal for today, is trying to get this bridge to, or this path to the water, so that we can start on that project. Right, so yeah, okay. Well, we're not looking to shock our viewers. We want to be a quiet stream is the goal. Something you can have on in the background. We don't want to go, I don't think we want to go, since we're already above it, we don't want to go too high here. So we probably will have to use the shovel some. And then use this to actually generate some cobblestone. Ooh, we need to mend. Oh, that's probably what our some of our mending was going to, was our elytra. All right, so go here. Get dirt out. Okay. Hopefully this doesn't get too much higher, so that we don't have to. Take it, so we don't have to increase the height of the path, the slope, incline, whatever you want to call it. my limited civil engineering terms are fading. But if there are any civil engineers that happen to pop into the chat, let me know. So we want to go this way, I guess. So I think we see 2 seawater up there. No, but this is good enough that we can level up here. So we can have it level up 1 more level. Right, level up here. So 71 is 4 above. So if we keep our... We want to keep going up and down, so we don't want to like keep going up and have it 67 and then work our way up to 200, even if it is slow. Because that would be a big incline to come down from. So we want to get... We're 5 above it, so we want to try to... One. Yeah, so this one, okay. Right. Right, okay. Put a torch down, grab a carrot, and then... Oh, there's our copper. Oh, got some of this foliage here. I think on the other side of this, because I think it was around 700. Oops. Maybe we can bring it down. Okay. Now we'll grab this. Get rid of some of these logs here so these leaves will decay on their own, or at least as many of them as we can. Okay. Right, so come back down. Oh, this is 67, so we're back down to where we need to be. And we can dip if we need to, but we're trying to keep the height at 67. We don't have a lot left, do we? Let's somewhere over there is the water. All right. So how much farther do we have to go? Yeah, so there's the water. The water is... Yeah, I was close. So it's going to be around 700. Yeah, it's going to be around 700. So we're gonna head back to Overmorrow. Oh, we can just follow our path here. We have a lot of mending to do. And since we're close to an hour, I think we're gonna call the bigger part of the stream and we're just gonna sit and mend. Because we need to do it anyway. I don't know if we'll mend everything, but we'll mend some stuff, and then that way we can keep the stream going and see if there's any questions in chat that we can answer. Now we're going to kind of, we'll probably be a little bit more quiet, chime in as we can, but yeah, we're just going to sit here for a little bit and mend our armor and tools for 15-20 minutes. We have a pretzel subscription, but since we're running it through Restream, I don't think it has a way to strip the audio or direct the audio so that it only goes to Twitch. I don't think we have, well, yeah, we don't have set up to allow it on the VODs. I think we could go through a process there because there is an option to do it on YouTube. But I just don't want to have to go through that. If it were a little bit easier setup and not having to go through filing incorrect copyright strikes and contacting is resolved, if it were more of a one-click solution, then I probably would. Like just something on maybe Pretzel's side where it's here's my channel, here's the song, and then the strike gets removed and fine. But as far as I know, that's not the case. I mean, if they've updated it and anyone knows, feel free to correct me. But so we do need to find something that we can. Ideally, we would have somebody that we could, or a pool of composers to that we could hire to either write songs or write open source songs. I mean, because I would like a theme song with channel specific. The ambiance music, so having a little adventure, a little sunny day in the village music. Those kind of things. So we'll visit that bridge when we get there. I think that would help. On a smaller stream. Because Pretzel does have a tier that lets you just post the song titles and whatnot in chat, which you can turn that off with the subscription, but I actually keep it on. I like seeing what songs are. But the advantage of that, and then other tools like it, which names, they give you a variety, and they give you the genres, so you know, high intensity, casual, different genres. Your guitar or your chiptune, and thousands of curated songs. So they put in the effort. So recreating songs would mean that you'd have a lot of repetition, at least. Because even if you just had 10, the same 10 repeating, even if they were 6-minute songs, that means every hour that it wouldn't sound bad for the first couple hours, maybe, but once you get a couple thousand hours and something, then that'd probably be oh, and that's, I guess, something we put in the show cam. Get to that point. Add printed desk pad that we had made with our but yeah, the pad we had printed, and it's of the original garden before we turned it into it. Okay. Image running, stream running. Okay. Okay, so helmet's repaired, elytra's almost repaired. Once those are repaired, then I think we should start getting priority on tools. We're not going to do this all on stream. Save everybody that, but on the things that goes in. I also want to get the habit of building in these intentional slow moments. Chat? once we start getting community going. So I want to build that habit before we have a few people rather than later. We're slow, and we're on that note at 59 followers, so we're one away of hitting our next goal. And we're in the neighborhood of two. We need one more consistent chat per stream from where we are now to make affiliate. So if you know anyone that might want to join the journey and be part of the auditorium, feel free to all right. All right. Get this going. We're finding our style as well. We want the style to be to inform the podiums, the builder's journal on GitLab. We still need to post that. Probably say that a few more times before we actually do, but there's that. And then we also want to use it to novel. The distinction we're making, the podium is about the Minecraft world, and the novel is built in the Minecraft world. So, in essence, the podium can only exist here, but the novel could be redone and could be redone in Godot or Unity or Unreal or Blender or whatever kind of tool, AutoCAD. World Crafter. I think that's pretty defunct tool by now, but that tool for Half-Life back in the day was I think there's something similar for the Elder Scrolls, which I used a little bit, but if the the Worldcraft, if the Elder Scrolls could have used that kind of layout, it would have been fantastic. That tool was really easy to use. It would have been developed. Even kind of extrapolated back to a more generic tool, because I think it was mostly, at least my experience with it was only with Half-Life, but if it could have been marketed more towards and developed towards initially Half-Life, but then any kind of these kind of 3D worlds, so it could be FPS or it could be Elder Scrolls or anything like that, as a tool to build these worlds outside of game engines, because I guess you could still build these things in the game engine, but it would take more effort because the game engine gives you another level of control. So if you kind of extrapolate that away where you're only doing the world building, that would be nice. And then it could effectively be could have been a plugin for all the game engines. But I guess enough reminiscing about that. Take that out. off our stone, so... Okay. Yeah, really hoping all of this work doesn't go away when we come back in later today or tomorrow. Well, later today off stream, tomorrow on stream. All right. Yep. So I think we must be, yep, we're fully mended because now our fortune pickaxe is... Let's our times. We're 12, so maybe we'll go hour 15, hour 20. See where we're at. Our fortune and silk touch pickaxe need to be fully mended for this project. We need the axe topped up a little bit, and we need the shovel probably topped off completely. Gonna have stone and dirt, sand that we need to get out of the way. And then the shovel for the surface stuff. And then as we get to the water, going to clear out the stones so we can kind of do our tunnel to get to the other side. And that's where we're need some of the coordinates, like figure out where we're going to come out on the other side of the water. And figure out how deep we need to go. It looks like it's maybe not a deep ocean, but ocean-esque. So either an ocean or small lake depth it is. But we need to go deep enough that we can go under it. And it's not a tropical ocean, otherwise I would say we go just deep enough so that a piece of it could have like a glass ceiling, so we could make it a little bit like an aquarium tunnel, but it looks like it's, again, like a lake or regular ocean, so not having the level of colorfulness that we want. Although coral, I think, only just needs water. Oh, yeah. They're found in, I guess, warm oceans, but it doesn't turn gray as long as it has any water next to it. So we could kind of decorate it. We just wouldn't have the tropical fish. Alright. Okay. Yeah, I think So we're at 115 now. We said 115, 120. So I think we'll go for the 120. Hour 120. That way, we can probably get our fortune pickaxe mended. So I think that'd be a good goal for the stream now. Good finishing out goal. We got some of the cobblestone laid out. I think we're around the 500 mark. Which on that, sometimes we'll shorten that to say like -5. So if that ever seems off, like feel free to drop a question in chat. What do we do by that? Yeah. So if in this case it's -500, 500, I'll probably just call it the -55. Just for shorthand, since I know what I'm talking about in my head, but that won't always convey in chat. So kind of set those expectations now and try to remember to repeat that. So anyone that knows can help others as we build the channel. But anyway, that's -5 is where we are, I think, with the walkway so far. So we need to get to the -7.7. And that's where we're gonna have to build some kind of tunnel that goes under. And I think that's where we can do something kind of decorative there, so we can pull the tunnel onto land a little bit and make it feel like it's not just like a car tunnel. I want it to feel like a caravan tunnel. So maybe put a couple like shops towards the entrance or storage places so that, you know, people coming and going can sell things on either side of the tunnel, just like you could along the road as well. I think there's a village not too far from there. I have to double check. So we could have like a small village near each one too, so that it feels like a pedestrian tunnel, right? So it would be long, but it would be a pedestrian tunnel. And that way it would feel a little non-standard, I guess is what we're going. Right. So just filling it in or doing a bridge like we said in the beginning of the stream seems like the more obvious. So going something that's a little more, I just want to be subtle, but a little more different, a little more unconventional. Right. So I think the style that we need to go for is kind of unconventional, but still practical. We did pretty good. So we're almost 120 and we're almost mended. So I think we're gonna take a little bit more than the an hour and 20 minutes. So we're gonna do as long as it takes to get the fortune pickaxe mended. Yeah. Little bits like that where we see it jump, those are great. And then what we're doing here is we're spending all of our experience basically but we're trying to condense all of our leather gear just to spend it. Because we could make it new, but this way we're using the experience and we're getting something out of it. And that's what I hope that's something that Mojang can kind of protect, is keeping these experience and like mending mechanics. Because you're adding these elements from all these different types of games, but they don't all have to tie together or mean the same thing to everybody. So just having experience in here and using it to mend armor, I think is a good example of that, because you can use it to mend armor or you can just make armor. So depending on how you want to play, you can spend your experience or you can save your experience. And for all intents and purposes, you could completely ignore your experience. Right, so I don't think you need to go down the path of everybody needs to use experience. Put it there, give it I'll call it a light purpose, and then people can use it or not. And then you can add other features in the game for other ways people want to play as that comes to light. But you're really leaning into the sandbox that way of having all this sand, and it can be molded any way people like. And having the mechanic there in kind of a light form means that you could have a few features in what I mentioned before, like the toggle menu of being able to turn those on for various features from the Mojang side. But you can also then, through an API, allow modders to use it as well, and do creative things, and that way Mojang or modders don't have to invent an experience system. They can just kind of tap into these systems that Mojang just puts there, and it doesn't feel unfinished because it's a sandbox game, so there is no finish. At least that's my take on it. So like, if you put this kind of experience thing in, you know, an Elden Ring or Baldur's Gate or Stardew Valley or something, you can feel unfinished if it's not leading towards a conclusion of a story. But that's not the case in Minecraft, so you don't have to, you can just add mechanics that do a little bit but feel unfinished in other games. But because it's Minecraft, it feels Minecrafty. It feels like it's finished enough. Like, it feels intentional that this is where the mechanic ends, so that you can toggle a little bit from the Minecraft side, or modders can take it and do what they want. So you'll look for places where you can interact with those mechanics. Like, you know, you can just turn experience off if you don't want it, and that would be more of a Minecraft side. Or you can turn it into, you know, like a weapon upgrade system. So instead of enchanting, you could use your experience to say, you know, I have a, you know, sword level 100 that allows me to, you know, one shot the Ender Dragon, you know, because someone might want that. But that's just kind of my take then on how to add things to Minecraft without needing to get it too developed. Like other things that are purely Minecraft. So like when you're introducing like the creeper, well, not the creeper, the what is that? What is it? The it is now escaping. Shady gotta look that up now. Pale Gardens, says, is it Pale Gardens? I could not think of that. So when you're introducing things like the Pale Gardens and whatnot, those are things that would be more specific to, you know, Ojang. Not that others couldn't introduce biomes, but those are things that can be more fleshed out for Ojang because those are more vanilla things. And again, it still kind of lends itself to the idea you're showing Pale Gardens and what something can be, and then modders and data pack people can build more intricate biomes and whatnot if they choose to. Yep. So it looks like we're gonna get closer to 1 hour 30 minutes. All right, so actually we have enough of that, and that's what we need for our cobblestone. So let's head out. Second. And my puppy Taya in the is our streamer in the other ear now, so maybe we'll continue on a little bit longer. What do we got? Oh, I know. We have a lot of cobblestone over here. What is our time? Okay, so we're good there. So maybe we can... That's not going to be a lot there. Let's drop off our helmets. All right, so let's go drop off some dirt here. Perfect. Oh, I think we'll just put that there for now, because we're using the rotten flesh to trade for emeralds over at our cleric hall, which is just one cleric right now, but we'll... let's do... We got a lot of cobblestone here. Okay. Let's follow our path and see if we can get to the water's edge. Where is our... Oh, there's our copper. Oh, And here's our path, so we'll connect this to the copper later. And I think we were just coming off the other side. Perfect. So we will... Yeah, so we'll do this. Okay, okay. All right, so let's... don't think we want to have it... Well, we do want a little dynamics to it, so... I don't know if we want it to do this much, so... Yeah, so we can clear out that little bit of sand. We can put that to good use later. So... This is this one. Okay, so it's this line. Yeah, perfect. Maybe we will shoot for closer to 2 hours today. Okay. Adjusting the mic. Let's see how this sounds a little bit. Any different? Oh, okay. Oop. Yeah, so we can that give it a little dynamic hill there. That's something we need to figure out. So the how do we put it? The change in height is fine, but it needs to be a change in height for a certain distance. So for every like change in height, it needs to be something like, you know, 5 blocks for every 1 height, or 10 blocks probably, so that it's more subtle. We don't want the height change to really be noticeable. We want the grade to be really subtle. So we can change heights, it just needs to be more or less imperceptible. Yeah. Oop. All right, so there we go. There we go. Getting close. Obviously, you know, and this kind of road isn't going to be permanent. It's definitely going to be 5 to maybe 10 blocks wide, somewhere in there. So 5, 7, 9, 10, or 11, I guess. So make it odd. And we want it to be like a well-traveled path. So we're kind of going down the heart of the third realm. So we'll smooth this out later. Yeah. Because we also don't want it to be like this straight either. We want it to kind of wind around things too. So we might add some little hills or trees or things on the path so it's not quite as straight. But this gives us our kind of true line. So this is would be the center line that we can kind of work around. Okay. We're negative 6, 6, so almost to the negative 7, 7. So let's do that. All right. So let's sorry. Oh. So, okay. Oh. All right. So perfect. Something is on fire down there. So we're gonna have to probably light up those caverns at some point. Looks like we did light up a little bit over here. Although we do have a copper block here, so that means we were out here. So these were like the loose lines. Kind of like a way line, I guess. All right, so almost there. Yeah, that's what we were afraid of. Okay. Oops. Right, so we want to do this. Yep. So let the sand collapse, and then we'll... Whoa. That's pretty good. Like, we're going to make it almost over there. Almost to the water by the time nightfall hits. But what we saw here was sand collapsing underneath us, which isn't nearly as bad as the sandfall in Overmorrow, where we dropped like 100 blocks. Well, it's probably only like 40 or 50, but it was a lot, and it was unexpected. But luckily, we didn't fall into the lava. I mean, I expected some collapsing sand. I just didn't expect it to be... I didn't expect such caverns underneath the sand. Oop. How did you get up there? Why do you have an axe? Oh, shovel, sorry. Ooh, so we probably need another torch on this side. Wow, that looks like a party there. All right. So let's put this there. Oh, right. Spawn Chunk just came out. It is Monday. I just didn't catch it because I gotta get up really early, and do. What we could do. Okay. Right. Right. And we could go here, and this is gonna be. It's where does this go then? Because all right, so grab our carrots. Oh, okay. Maybe the skeleton will come up now. Okay. Oh, we have enough rockets we can fly back whenever we're done with this, so we can mend up our other tools later. But all right, so it's gonna be this line. Eight. Put that there. 135. Is it this one? Right. So this is 137. Okay. And this is 138. Yeah. So it's this line here. Right. So we'll clear out those. Clear out the sand here. All of that. We'll put a torch down. Oh, we really can't do much more. That shovel's too uh needs mending. All right, so we'll do that. There we go. Right. Oh, so we did put it there. Okay. So this line here actually doesn't even go towards that. It goes straight there. And it's going to go for quite a while, actually. Because it's going to... Right, not quite 2000, because that's where we are. But that's where the 2000 is where the Inkwood is going to go. But we have land in between there. So this isn't a full 1000. It's probably... Okay, let's do this. Okay. Okay, let's take care of the skeleton. Let's maybe do a little night flying to get an idea of how far this tunnel is going to go. Right, so it should be roughly this. We're playing with fire here, but we were at 7 something, so let's say 700. And it's gonna be about 1200, give or take. Yeah. So that's 3, so it's gonna be about a 500 block long tunnel. Okay. So with that, let's take this back. Actually, let's put some torches on this to light it up. So we'll prevent mobs from spawning on it and make it more of a path that we can follow. Oh, that's how they're getting up here, okay. Oh, got you there, that's fine. I'd rather have too much light than not enough. Right, up carrot. Put the torch down. Run away from the fire zombie. Ugh. Alright, so there we go. Ooh. 11 torches left before we need to make some more. It's okay. Let's grab some carrots, okay. Okay, there we go. Let's okay, we're almost at 2 hours, which I think is good. We still need to get chapter 10 and then outline for the novel out or in a state that we like today. I mean, we're not definitely not a professional author, but we want it to be halfway decent at least. Okay. There we go. Okay, now we're close enough to the ground. We can just quick place and or quick tap place. And we'll hit the edge of the Overmorrow here in a second. need to fix our we need to mend our shovel before we do too much more. Let's put our cobblestone there. Okay. So we'll take this out later, but for now we can do this. Okay. We got some of the sandstone and whatnot. Andesite? Yeah, andesite. That's gonna be a pain. Not being able to have that kind of pull from standing on the block next to the... But it is... okay. Okay, so we need to clear out this a little bit now. On this path. Gotta be really close to the edge of Overmorrow. Right. Because if it's a 256 diameter, gotta be within 20 blocks. Let's do some... There we go. Torch mining for the sand. Okay. When we take out those, the sand will just fall and we'll collect it. Oh, we got some sand over here too. Maybe we should just... If we do that, then it brings the stuff up to our level. Boom. Let's do this. How close are we to the wall? We're farther than we thought, so we definitely need to mend the... shovel before we do anything. This just take too long to go from there to... If it's 512, then it should be 256 for the diameter, or for the radius. Why are we at 184-ish? It should be to center, so it should have been closer to 256. Is that what it is over here? This should be a straight line. Well, all the radius would be a straight line, but the wall is kind of the source of truth. It is built perfectly horizontal along the 0 line. Oops. Yeah, see, so it's... Oh, so it probably is 250 on the outside at the far reach at the back. And if we figured out, use the quadratic and got our line, we probably could. If we got quadratic, we could probably figure out the distance from center to here based on our x and y, and that distance would probably be 250 or 256 roughly. But yeah, anyway. But anyway. So we're gonna go back to our zombie experience farm. Okay, okay. Okay, so let's go back in here. We're close to our 2-hour line, so I think we'll call it there. What was our thought process? Yeah, so we need to get to the outlining and studying some other just stuff we need to get done. And we have a meeting at about an hour. We're gonna get our outlining done before then. So with that, we're gonna call it an end for the adventure today. So thank you for joining day 255 of The Journey Begins. We'll see you tomorrow for day 256. If you want to check out the VODs for this, our Pinterest, Blue Sky, our Lego Build YouTube channel, our gaming channel, basically any of our auditorium, you can find us on Linktree. So that's linktr.ee/mindtripmedia. And that'll give you a number of places you can follow and support us. Follow us on YouTube, Twitch here. We have Patreon there. We're not quite to that, but we're getting there. So with that, we'll see you tomorrow when the journey continues. And now I'm going to go listen to my puppy Thea while we do our outlining. So if you want to continue to chill stream, feel free to check that out.